Today, we follow Isabella, a woman who learns that even after deep sorrow, life still holds room for peace, joy, and new love. My name is Isabella. I am 32 years old, and I live in a small town near the mountains in the United States. It is a quiet place with big green trees, cold winters, and kind people. For many years, my life was happy. I had a good husband and two lovely children. I thought everything would stay the same, but life can change when you don't expect it. I met my husband, Daniel, when I was 20. He was 10 years older than me. Some people said the age gap was too big, but I didn't care. Daniel was kind. He worked as a carpenter and made beautiful wooden tables and chairs. His hands were strong, but his heart was soft. I felt safe with him. We got married when I turned 21. Our wedding was small, in a wooden church near the lake. I wore a light blue dress. Daniel wore a white shirt and dark pants. It was simple, but it felt special. My mother cried happy tears. Daniel's father gave us his old house as a gift. That little house became our home. 2 years later, we had our first child, a boy named Leo. He had Daniel's dark hair and big brown eyes. He was a quiet baby who liked music. When Leo turned 2, our daughter Maya was born. She had my smile and Daniel's strong hands. She cried a lot at night, but her laugh made everything feel better. Our house was always full of sound. The children laughed. Daniel worked in his shop behind the house, and I cooked in our small kitchen. Every Sunday, we went to the market together. Life was busy, but it was good. Daniel always supported me. He said, "Isabella, you should learn about the business too. If something happens to me, you need to know what to do." I listened. I helped with orders, wrote bills, and talked to customers. Daniel was proud of me. Then, one winter evening, everything changed. We had dinner with some neighbors to celebrate Daniel's new order. He had just finished a big job for the town school. Everyone clapped and raised their glasses. Daniel smiled and said, "It was a hard job, but I enjoyed it." That night, after everyone left, Daniel sat on the couch. He looked tired. He wiped his forehead and said, "I feel strange. Maybe I worked too hard." I gave him water, but he didn't drink it. He closed his eyes and whispered, "My chest hurts." I got scared and called the doctor, but it was too late. Daniel's heart stopped. I screamed and held his hands. I begged him to wake up, but Daniel was gone. The next few days felt blurry. Many people came to our house. They brought food and flowers. They said, "Be strong, and he's in a better place." But I didn't feel strong. I felt like my world ended. Leo was 9, and Maya was 7. They didn't fully understand, but they knew something was wrong. Maya cried every night. Leo didn't talk much. He just sat near the window and looked outside. I stopped smiling. I stopped eating. I stayed in bed. My mother came to help, but even she couldn't cheer me up. One night, I heard a small voice beside my bed. It was Maya. "Mom," she said softly, "please don't leave us too. We still need you." She held my hand. I looked at her. Her eyes were full of tears and love. Something inside me woke up. I sat up, held Maya, and said, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm here." The next morning, I got out of bed and made breakfast. Just toast and eggs, but it was a big step. Leo smiled when he saw me in the kitchen. Maya hugged me. I started doing small things again. I cleaned the house, helped Leo with homework, and washed clothes. I went to Daniel's workshop. It was cold and dusty. His tools were still on the table. I touched a wooden chair he was making. A tear fell down my face. Then I remembered his words. You should know how to handle things. I opened his notebook. He had written everything: customer names, prices, drawings. I began to learn. I called a customer and said, "I will try to finish your table." It was hard. I made mistakes. I cried a lot. But I kept trying. One day, I found an envelope in Daniel's drawer. My name was on it. I opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a letter. "Dear Isabella," it said, "if you are reading this, I am not with you anymore. Please don't cry too much. You are stronger than you think. Take care of Leo and Maya. Don't forget to care for yourself. Life is still beautiful. You just have to look for the light again. Love always, Daniel." I held the letter close. It felt like he was still with me. His words gave me strength. After that, I worked harder. I finished the table he started. I showed it to the customer. The customer said, "This is perfect." Daniel would be proud. I smiled for the first time in many months, but inside I still felt alone. I missed Daniel's voice, his smile, his laugh. I missed how he held my hand when we walked to the lake. Some nights I cried softly so the children wouldn't hear me. Time moved slowly. Winter became spring, then summer. I kept working. The business grew. I even hired someone to help me lift the heavy wood. People said, "You're doing so well, Isabella," but they didn't know how empty I felt inside. One evening, I was walking home from the market when I saw a sign on a wall. It said, "Embroidery class every Thursday at 6 p.m. Come learn, relax, and meet others." I stood there looking at the sign for a long time. I didn't know why, but something inside me said, "Try it." Maybe I just wanted to be around other people. Maybe I wanted something different. Maybe I was ready for a small change. I looked up at the sky. It was turning pink as the sun set. I thought of Daniel. I thought of his letter. Life is still beautiful. You just have to look for the light again. I touched the letter in my coat pocket. I still carried it with me every day. So I decided to go to the class. Before I tell the rest of my story, I want to ask you something. Where are you listening from? It gives me strength to know someone out there is hearing my words. Someone who understands. Please tell me in the comments. I would really love to know. The embroidery class was held at a small community centre near the bakery. On my first day, I walked in quietly and looked around. The room smelled like fresh flowers and clean soap. 6 women were sitting at a table with colourful threads and cloth. One of them looked up and smiled. "Hi there, you must be new," she said. Her name was Grace, and she was the teacher. She looked to be in her 50s, with silver hair in a bun and a warm voice. "Come, sit next to me," she said gently. I sat down and looked at the cloth in front of me. Grace showed me how to hold the needle, how to pull the thread slowly, and how to make small stitches. My hands shook at first, but Grace said, "Don't worry, we all start like this." I liked the soft feeling of the fabric in my hands. I liked the quiet in the room, the light laughter, and the gentle voices sharing stories. I didn't talk much, but I listened. After the class, I helped clean up. Grace asked, "Would you like to come again next week?" "Yes," I said quietly. "Thank you." I began going every Thursday. It felt nice to leave the house for something that was just for me. Maya always asked Mom, "Show me what you made." Leo smiled and said, "That looks really good." One evening when I came to class, I saw Grace talking to a man at the door. He was tall and had wide shoulders. His jacket was covered in dust, like he had been working outside. Grace saw me and waved. "Isabella, come here. I want you to meet my nephew." The man turned around. He had light brown hair, soft blue eyes, and a kind smile. His name was Eli. He was 29 and worked as a landscaper. He built gardens, planted trees, and took care of parks in town. "Nice to meet you," Eli said, reaching out to shake my hand. "You too," I said, trying not to blush. Grace said. Eli came to fix the broken shelf in the storage room. I smiled and walked into class, but I could feel Eli looking at me. My heart beat a little faster, and I didn't know why. After that, I saw Eli a few more times. He came to the center to help Grace with small repairs. One time he put up new lights. Another time he carried boxes to her car. He always said hello to me. Sometimes we talked a little. One evening, I stayed after class to help fold fabric. Eli was there, fixing a loose table leg. He smiled and said, "You're always helping." "That's nice. I just like to stay busy," I said, placing fabric in a box. Eli looked at me for a second and said, "Would you like to have coffee with me sometime?" I froze. My hands stopped moving. "I mean," he added quickly, "only if you feel okay with it." No pressure. I looked at him. He seemed calm and honest. I felt nervous but also a little curious. "Okay," I said softly. We met at a small cafe 2 streets away. It was warm inside. The air smelled like cinnamon and coffee. We sat near the window and talked for hours. Eli told me about his work with flowers and trees. He loved nature. He said planting and watching things grow made him feel peaceful. I told him about Daniel. The first told him about Leo and Maya. I didn't tell him everything, but I shared enough to help him understand. He didn't interrupt. He didn't ask too many questions. He just listened. "I know it's hard," he said. "I lost my dad when I was 15. I understand. Pain takes time." Something about his words touched me. We both knew loss. Maybe that's why I felt safe. After that, Eli and I started meeting more often. Sometimes he walked with me to the market. Sometimes he came by and helped fix things in the workshop. One day, he brought Maya a small flower pot with her name painted on it. "For you," he said. "You can grow your own flowers." Maya's eyes lit up. "Thank you," she said, hugging the pot. Leo was more quiet, but he watched Eli closely. Eli never tried too hard. He didn't force anything. He just showed up, helped, and smiled. One Saturday, Eli came with us to the park. The children ran around while we sat on a bench. "You're good with them," I said. "They're great kids," he replied. We sat quietly for a while. The sun felt warm on our faces. "Do you ever feel bad for smiling again?" I asked him softly. Eli looked at me, then answered slowly. "Yes, for a long time. But someone once told me that love doesn't end. It changes shape. You don't lose the past. You just make space for the future." His words stayed with me. That night, I sat in the workshop. I looked at Daniel's photo on the shelf. I thought about our life together. I remembered his letter, "You are stronger than you think. Life is still beautiful." I asked myself, is it okay to feel something again? Is it okay to smile with someone new? One evening, I told Maya and Leo that Eli was coming for dinner. Maya clapped her hands and said, "Yay." Leo just said, "Okay." He didn't smile, but he didn't look upset either. We made soup and baked bread. Eli brought dessert from the bakery. After dinner, he helped Leo fix a toy car. He showed Maya how to water her small plant the right way. Later, after the kids went to bed, I walked Eli to the door. "Thank you for coming," I said. "I like being here," he said. "You have a lovely family." I looked down. I don't know where this is going. I still think about Daniel every day. You should, Eli said. He's a part of your life. I'm not here to take his place. I just want to be here if you let me. Tears filled my eyes, but I smiled. I don't know what the future will be, I said. Let's find out together, he answered kindly. Weeks passed and became months. Eli and I kept seeing each other. Slowly, he became part of our life. He helped Maya with her butterfly project for school. He played soccer with Leo in the yard. On rainy days, we stayed inside and baked cookies. We laughed, listened to music, and talked about simple things. I still felt sad sometimes, but not as often. My heart, which had felt quiet and cold, was learning to feel warm again. One afternoon, I was walking through the market with Maya. She looked up at me and asked, "Mom, do you love Eli?" I stopped and looked at her little face. "I don't know," I said, "but I care about him very much." She smiled. "I like him. He makes you smile." That evening, I sat with Leo while he did his homework. "Do you miss Dad?" I asked gently. Leo put down his pencil. "Yes," he said. "Every day." I took a deep breath. "What do you think about Eli?" He was quiet for a while, then said, "He's not Dad, but he's nice. He doesn't try to act like he's Dad." "That's good," I said, feeling tears in my eyes. "Would it be okay if Eli stayed in our life?" I asked. Leo looked at me and gave a small smile. "I think so." That night, I went for a walk alone. The air was cool, and the sky was full of stars. I walked to the small bridge near the park, where Daniel and I used to bring the kids when they were babies. I stood there and watched the water move slowly under the moonlight. I closed my eyes. "Daniel," I whispered, "I still miss you every day. But I want you to know the kids are smiling again. There's someone who brings calm to our home. He's not you, but he is gentle. He doesn't try to take your place. He respects our story. And I think you would want this for us. I hope you're proud of me." The wind touched my face gently, like a soft answer. I stood there a bit longer, letting go of some of the pain I had carried for years. A few weeks later, Eli came to the house with a small box in his hands. We were sitting outside in the garden, watching the children draw with chalk on the ground. "I have something for you," he said. He gave me the box. Inside was a silver key on a chain. "This is the key to my house," he said. "I want you to have it, not to rush things, but to show you that I'm here, for real, for you and the kids." I held the key in my hand. It felt heavy and light at the same time. "You don't have to move in today or next week," he said. "Just whenever you're ready." I looked at him. "What if I want you to move in with us instead?" Eli smiled. "That would make me happy." So, we talked to the children again. We asked how they felt. We asked if they were okay with Eli living with us. Maya jumped up and hugged him. Leo said, "It's okay. Just don't take my room." We laughed together. It felt like a good sign. A month later, Eli moved into our home. We didn't have a big party or tell everyone. We just took one step at a time. He brought a few things, some books, his guitar, a few plants for the window. The house felt a bit fuller, a bit warmer. Some evenings, Eli played soft songs on his guitar. Maya danced, and Leo tapped his pencil to the beat. I watched from the kitchen and felt a kind of peace I hadn't felt in years. One night, Maya asked, "Will you and Eli get married?" I looked at Eli. He smiled but didn't say anything. "Maybe," I said, "one day." "But you were married to Dad," Leo said. "Yes," I replied, "and I loved him very much. But it's okay to love again. Leo thought for a moment, then said, Dad would want you to be happy. I kissed his head. Yes, I think so too. I still talk to Daniel sometimes, not out loud, but in my heart. When I walk by the lake where we used to go, when I hear a song we loved, when I see Leo's eyes or hear Maya's laugh, I feel him. He's still with us, not in the room, not in the chair, but in how we live, in how I care for the kids, in how I kept going even when things were hard. Eli never asked me to forget. He never tried to erase the past. He just offered to walk beside me as I moved forward. And that's exactly what I needed. Today, our life isn't perfect. Some days are still quiet. Some days I miss Daniel so much that it hurts. But now I understand that pain and love can stay in the same heart. I don't have to choose. My heart is like a home with two doors, one for memories and one that leads to the future. I keep both doors open, and that's okay. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share it with someone who might need a little hope today. And don't forget to subscribe for more true, emotional, and inspiring stories. Your support means everything.